Hi, my name is Deepti. Today we are going to learn about drilling and reaming holes in correct location, fitting dowel pins, studs and bolts.
At the end of this demonstration, you will be able to file to size as per drawing, mark and punch hole locations, drill, ream, counterbore as per drawing, cut M6 internal thread to suit bolt and stud, assemble as per drawing. Tools required: vernier height gauge, vernier caliper, equipment required: lathe machine, materials required: raw material, oil. Before starting job, there are some preliminary checks to be made. Those are as follows. First, check the raw material using steel rule. File the part 1 for the overall size, maintaining parallelism and perpendicularity. File the part 2 for the overall size, maintaining parallelism and perpendicularity. File the part 3 for the overall size, maintaining parallelism and perpendicularity. Once filing all the 3 parts has been completed, then prepare all the parts for the markings. Mark off part 1 with a vernier height gauge as per drawing. Mark off part 2 with a vernier height gauge as per drawing. Mark off part 3 with a vernier height gauge as per drawing. Once you are done with marking off all the parts with vernier height gauge, the next step to follow is punching. Punch drill hole marks in part 1. Punch drill hole marks in part 2. Punch drill hole marks in part 3. The raw material has been checked. All the parts have been filed and then they have been marked with vernier height gauge, and at last they have been punched witness mark. Now, all the preliminary checks have been done, we are good to go. Fix diameter 5.8 mm drill in drilling machine and drill through holes and ream the holes of diameter 6 mm reamer in part 1 and 2. Clean the reamed hole with soft cloth and fit diameter 6 mm dowel pin. Similarly, drill, ream and fit diameter 6 another dowel pin with the same setting in part 1 and 2 as shown in figure 1. Then, fix diameter 5 mm drill in drilling machine and drill through hole for M6 hexagon bolt assembly. Similarly, drill diameter 5 mm drill hole in part 1 and 2 for another M6 hexagon bolt assembly. Counterbore to the depth of fixing M6 Allen bolt head side in part 1 as shown in drawing. Separate part 1 and 2. Hold countersink tool in drilling and machine and countersink 1x45 diameter in the place of cutting internal thread on both sides of part 2. Thread has been cut in part 2 only. Cut M6 internal thread in the place of hexagon bolts assembly in part 2. Clean the threads without burrs. Now, we have successfully created the first part and second part. Next, we will insert the third part. Reassemble part 1 and 2 and set part 3 as shown in figure 2 and clamp it with parallel clamps. Then, fix diameter 5.8 mm drill in drilling machine and drill through hole ream 6 mm for dowel pin assemble with part 1 and 3. Fit diameter 5 mm drill and drill 2 through holes in the place of studs assembly in part 1 and 3. Separate part 1 and 3. Fix diameter 6 mm drill and drill through holes in part 1. Countersink 1x45 diameter in part 3 and cut M6 internal thread. Thread has been cut in part 3 only. Clean the thread and reassemble part 1 with part 3. Fix M6 bolt along with plain washer and tighten it using suitable spanner. Disassemble all the parts 1, 2 and 3 and finish with file and deburr on all surfaces of the job. Reassemble all the parts 1, 2 and 3 with dowel pins, hexagon bolts, stud and nuts. Since we have completely reassembled all the parts with dowel pins, hexagon bolts, stud and nuts, now apply a thin coat of oil and preserve it for evaluation.
Let's have a recap of what we have learned today. We have learned to file to size as per drawing, mark and punch hole locations, drill, ream, counter bore as per drawing, cut M6 internal thread to suit bolt and stud, and assemble as per drawing. Thus, we have learned to drilling and reaming holes in correct location, fitting dowel pins, stud and bolts. Hope you have a clear understanding on this. Do this exercise with the help of your instructor.